the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to the second overall pick to draft Travis Hunter in the NFL draft. A lot of people expected the Jaguars to take Ashton Jeanty, but instead they did the unexpected and took the two-way star out of Colorado. Everybody seemed to be excited that Travis was going to a place that was going to utilize him properly, and Travis seemed to be excited too. But after an excellent Heisman-winning season at Colorado, Travis Hunter is finally ready to take his talents to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And today we are going to see how his rookie year might look as a two-way player. Now, it is not too long after Travis gets drafted that he is attending minicamp, and as advertised, he was out there at two positions, struggling a little bit early at cornerback, but eventually he would really show what he can do. And as a wide receiver, he was out there cooking up the DBs, proving to the coaches that he had some top-tier skill at both positions at the NFL level, which leads us to the preseason, where in a game against Ted McMillan and the Carolina Panthers, the coaches couldn't believe that on the very first drive, Travis actually went out there and said, "Wang!" coming up with his first pick in the NFL already, and showing teams around the league that maybe it's a good idea to not throw his way. But Travis Hunter is still a rookie, and there are definitely some receivers in this league who are capable of coming up with some big plays like Marvin Harrison Jr. But even though Travis Hunter got cooked up a little bit, it was all good, because he can just go ahead and get it right back on offense, and he ends up coming up with his first career catch on the next drive. Now, the coaches end up taking him out after the first quarter because they already feel like he's ready for the regular season. And I'm sure there will be hundreds of thousands of people watching to see what Travis Hunter can do in his first NFL game. Now, the Jaguars are getting Travis involved early here with a reception on fourth down that ultimately goes on to move the sticks. But it's crazy, man, because already in his first game, he got people out here talking crazy about his girlfriend. And unfortunately, on the very next play, that same dude would catch a pick and take it all the way back to the other side of the field, setting his team up with some momentum. Towards the end of the second quarter, it was 7-3, and Travis Hunter and this defense were starting to come up with some stops. And on offense, Travis Hunter was still making an impact early on, coming up with a reception that puts his team in a goal-to-goal position. And on the very next play, Travis Hunter goes across the middle and catches his first touchdown of his NFL career. And this is a big moment that everybody is watching. I'm sure many fantasy owners are happy about. But in a game where this Jaguar defense began to fold towards the end of it, they were definitely not in a good position. But not having Travis Hunter out on the field on the last drive also did not help, as this pass ends up getting picked off and taken all the way back to the crib for a touchdown to officially give the Jaguars their first loss of the season. As I'm sure many people have predicted, the Jaguars are not going to be an overnight success story, and it will take some time even with Travis Hunter to turn this franchise around. But in a game where Travis actually had an insane first day, going for over 170 yards receiving and 4 total tackles, it definitely looked like the Jaguars were heading in the right direction. And that seemed to be the case as they came up with a win in their next game against the 49ers, but then ultimately took a close loss against the divisional rival, the Houston Texans. Eventually, though, there will be a game played at least twice a year that everybody is going to be waiting for. And that first one's definitely going to be fun to watch, with Travis Hunter in the Jacksonville Jaguars against Cam Ward in the Tennessee Titans. Now, early on, it looks like Travis Hunter is out here going crazy for his team, picking up a first down that puts his team in position for some points, but the coaches decide to take him out because they want to limit his snap count. They don't want him getting injured too early on in the game if they need him on offense, so they brought him in on 3rd down and 1 where the defense came up with the stop. And now back on offense, man, Travis definitely had his struggles, but on this 2nd down and 10, he proved that he was more than capable of coming up with a big play, hauling in a deep reception downfield that brings his team across the goal line for a score, and also giving his team a ton of momentum going forward throughout this game. Because by the second quarter, it was 17-7. And even though Cam Ward was out here scrambling for a long touchdown, it didn't really seem to matter to the Jaguars, as they would go ahead and take care of business and close this game out 33-21. Travis would help his team take down a divisional rival, but the following week they would narrowly lose a game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Travis Hunter was still really out here making a bigger impact on defense though, as he was starting to rack up a lot of tackles, and the coaches mainly wanted to keep him on defense going into their next game against Ashton Jeanty and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now in this game, the Raiders really wanted to test Travis Hunter over the top, but he was often right there to help bat the ball down, and it seemed like throughout this entire game, wherever else they tried to throw, it was not a good idea either, as their quarterback threw multiple picks, allowing the Jags to take a multiple possession lead. And even though by the end of the third quarter, Ashton Jeanty actually crossed over the goal line for a score, it definitely didn't seem to be enough for the Raiders as this game was already put away. As the Jaguars go on to close this game out 17-10, and now they're looking to ride the momentum going forward throughout the season. As the Jaguars came up with back-to-back wins against the Broncos and then the Seahawks, and he was really beginning to establish himself as an impact player on both sides of the ball. But after a nice little 3-game win streak, it would eventually be snapped by an in-division rival, as the Jaguars would lose 22-15 to the Indianapolis Colts. But at this point, sitting at 5-4, he is feeling really good going into the most personal game he has all season, as he's about to face off against his old college quarterback, Shaduar Sanders in the Cleveland Browns. Shaduar Sanders had somehow found a way to take the starting job for the Browns throughout the season, and that was definitely a big story. Such a big story that some of Travis's teammates were not a big fan of all the hype Shaduar was getting. Throughout this game, though, Shaduar definitely had moments where he was proving he should be the starting quarterback, as he scored a touchdown early on that actually takes the lead for the Browns. But soon, though, man, Travis would really start to make an impact on this game, especially on defense, as he not only helped his team get a stop on third down, but on the very next play, he went out there and said "Shabaka" on defense, coming up with the stop that allows his team to tie the game up. And when they came back out on defense, Shaduar Sanders actually throws a pick, giving the ball right back to the Jaguars, and now giving them complete momentum in this game as they go on to take the lead. And although Shaduar Sanders was having a pretty decent season so far, in this game his weakness seemed to be a Travis Hunter-led defense, as Travis was coming up with his first career interception in the regular season, and at this point it felt like the Jaguars had all the momentum going forward. As although Shaduar Sanders would go on to lead the Browns to tie this game back up later on, by the end of it the Jacksonville Jaguars were in a position to kick a game-winning field goal, which they did to put this one away, as Travis Hunter led a narrow victory over his old college quarterback, 24-21. At this point in the season, though, man, Travis Hunter is definitely having a pretty solid year on both sides of the ball. And it would continue into a game against Carolina where he actually came up with another touchdown on his season, making a big play that gave his team the lead early on. But then at the very end of the game, when they needed the 2-point conversion to take the lead back, it was Travis Hunter once again to make a play to help give the Jags another win on the year. He helped his team win this game against the Panthers by 1. But even though Travis was still doing his thing in the next week against the Texans, it would not be a way to come away with the victory as they would lose another game 24-20. Now they would immediately get back on track with a blowout win against the LA Rams, just absolutely beating the brakes off them 28-0. But now going into the next game, everybody was looking forward to seeing what Travis would do in a rematch against Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. We're in a game that the Jags were leading coming out of half. Cam Ward decides to take a shot at Travis Hunter, and it was not a good idea, as Travis Hunter was not only coming up with a pick, but it looked like he was taking this one all the way back to the crib for 6. And he was eventually able to cross over the goal line for his first career touchdown on defense. And this was also a play that helped the Jaguars season sweep their division rival, as the Jags would close this game out 24-21, and it was definitely a performance where his impact was felt mostly on defense. But now at this point in the season, with a few games left in the year, it looks like the Jaguars will not have a chance to win their division, but they will have a chance to make the NFL playoffs. But they'll just have to stay locked in going into the final games of the year, especially in their next one against one of the top teams in the whole league, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now early on they had Travis Hunter assigned to Travis Kelce, and pretty much immediately it was clear that it was not a great idea, as Travis Kelce would go right down the field and score a touchdown to take the lead. Now eventually the Jaguars would go down the field and tie the game back up, but on the very next drive Travis Kelce was getting wide open once again for another score. This one wasn't on Hunter as he was guarding the running back, but still, man, dang. Travis was out here getting cooked so bad in this game, they put him at safety, and that still didn't do nothing as Rashee Rice goes in for another score to give Kansas City the lead. But eventually we would get to the fourth quarter where this game was tied up, and Travis Hunter was finally putting the clamps on Travis Kelce, eventually bringing this game into overtime where the Jaguars brought Travis out, and he was making some big plays to help move his team downfield. On this 3rd down and 4, he actually came up with a catch that got his team in field goal range and helped them put an end to this game, as the Jaguars would close this game out 24-21. And this one was an excellent game from Travis Hunter as he had 11 total tackles and almost 150 yards on offense. This man had helped the Jaguars ball out all season, and it did not change going into the last game of the year against the New England Patriots, as the Jaguars closed the season out with a 21-14 victory. But now for his final season stats, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it seems like Travis Hunter definitely did his thing on offense, especially for his rookie year not playing as much snaps as a normal starter would. 500 yards off of 55 receptions was pretty good. And on defense though, Travis Hunter actually did a lot better than people thought, as he ultimately wound up with 73 total tackles and 2 interceptions. Despite that though, Travis Hunter did not win Defensive Player of the Year. He was in the running though, and he was also in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year, proving just how versatile he truly was. But now that Travis Hunter has finally led the Jaguars back to the playoffs, he is working on upgrading his skills on the defensive side of the ball because he does not want to allow too many points from his first postseason matchup, the New York Jets. And this one seemed to be a game where defense was playing a crucial part, as early on, Travis Hunter said Shaduar, just smoking this ball carrier and forcing a fumble. I didn't even know he could do that, man. He must have put weight on it. But either way, the Jaguars recover the ball, and this gives them a ton of momentum going into the fourth quarter. We're now up by multiple possessions. This Travis Hunter-led defense is coming up with multiple stops. And after another one on this third down, the Jags had finally done enough to get to the next round, as they closed this game out 24-16, and they were mostly led by their two-way rookie superstar, who not only had 75 yards receiving, but also had 9 total tackles on defense. Hey man, this boy Travis Hunter is different, bruh. We cannot forget how weak the Jaguars were just a year ago. And now Travis Hunter got Jacksonville to the divisional round, where it looks like they're heading back on the road to face off against the #1 seed, Baltimore Ravens. Now in this game, Travis Hunter was out there making a big impact on defense early, as he came up with a nice tackle on the opening possession to force a punt. But very quickly things would change on defense and on offense, as Trevor Lawrence was throwing an unwarranted interception up the seam. So this definitely wasn't a good way to start this game, but it didn't really matter because Travis Hunter was out there making some big plays in the backfield. He got a tackle for loss that was forcing the Ravens to settle for 3, leading to their next possession on offense, where Travis Hunter was coming up with some nice plays over the middle and moving the chains for his team. Unfortunately, that drive would only result in a field goal, and their offense wasn't really able to get much going at all up until the fourth quarter, where even then it was actually the Ravens still putting up points regardless of the fact that they got sacked on this third down, leading to this 4th and goal down by 16 where Travis Hunter wasn't even on the field, but luckily the Jags still scored a touchdown. But for the 2-point conversion, I guess the head coach still did not want Travis on the field, and that might have just cost them, as they do not convert, and this is enough to put an end to Travis Hunter's rookie year, as the Jaguars go on to lose this game 9-19. But at this point, at least everybody knows that this franchise is heading in the right direction with their young two-way superstar. Now apparently this is the year where the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl, and although Travis did not go on to win Offensive or Defensive Rookie of the Year, you better believe that he's still excited for his future as the first consistent two-way superstar in NFL history. So this is what Travis Hunter's rookie year might look like on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you want to see me put another rookie into Madden 25, be sure to get this video to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel down below. Also be sure to comment down below what else you guys want to see next, and check out one of these other stories until the next one comes out. If you got to this point in the video, just know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope all of your teams had a great NFL draft, and other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys next time.